Well, thank you for doing this. I appreciate it. How are you?
I'm happy to do it. How am I?
Yeah.
Um, I would say I'm about as good as I could possibly be.
Well, that's good to hear. Um, I want to
Yes,
talk
I think so.
the Christmas album that you have out. I want to talk about that. Why did you want to
Yeah,
do the Christmas album now?
these are tracks that were previously released, but we have gone in and remastered and remixed them, and in some cases put other instrumentation on, and the the changes were so vast. Really, what I did was I was just interested in hearing one or two of those songs, and I said, there's a bass on there I just don't like. Let's say on White Christmas, I would really love to get a warm, upright bass that really knows what he's doing, a really swinging bass player, and we have that guy named Jim Ferguson. And I called my producer in Nashville, and I said, let's have some fun. Let's put him on there and remix it and make it like we like it, where my voice is out front and large, And so it came back to me, and I said, it was like going from black and white to VistaVision to color, and CinemaScope, was just incredible. So we did two or three more tracks because there are several more that have been bothering me no end through the years. And because before it was such a big deal, if you wanted to go and do that, very expensive too. It didn't cost anything hardly. So now we've got these four. I said, well, we got to put an album out. I said, I wonder if the record company would like to do that. And they thought it was a great idea. And really, it's like a new album.
It really is, and that must have been so nice to be able to go in and do the tracks the way you always wanted them to be.
And that's the reason why, Paul McCartney came out with the Let It Be without the other stuff on it or whatever. Sometimes, we really would like to hear these things done right. And you can't be on top of everything, number one. And number two, there are a lot of people involved in these things, and time is of the essence. And so I never cared for some of the playing on the tracks, and was able to get it perfect. And I'm really happy with this. I think that this will be a record that will be selling through the years and just keep coming out and getting played.
I agree with that. It has that, when I was listening to it, that timeless quality that it's going to be one that's going to be played every holiday season going forward.
That makes me very happy.
So, what keeps you going? Because, I mean, you've been in the music business for nearly 60 years. What keeps you going to keep doing new stuff and to perform?
Well, I think one of the things, I had a nervous breakdown in the 70s because I had a whole lot of things that were falling apart in my life, and I was being pushed all the time. One more tour, one more this, one more that. And when I came out of it, and again, I didn't do any jobs, any doctors or anything. I just, like I always do, I just toughed it out. And was making the Homeless Brother album when that was all going on, and Joel Doran was my friend, and he helped me a lot, really pull me out of it. But after that, I realized nobody was going to rush me anymore. I'm not doing what I don't want to do, and that's it. And, that's the thing Elvis Presley could never do, is just say, look, I'm not playing another month at that hotel. I'm not doing it, because it's killing me. I was at least had enough self-love to be aware of the fact that this business was starting to eat me alive, and pulled back. And it just simply, I had a house, I had it paid for, I had my horses, I had my dog, I didn't need anybody, I had my garden, So I'm not going to have any of it if I keep doing this, So I just think that's part of the reason why I've lasted a long time, is that I do things at my own pace. I do everything. It all gets done. But I don't like being pushed.
And I guess that is something that you had to learn to know
The
that,
hardware.
yeah. And because you've had such a long career, I mean, you span so many generations. How does that feel to know that your music has reached so many people and it crosses all different ages?
Well, I don't know how to say this any other way other than I always wanted to do good in the world. You know, I wanted to do good for people, and I realized as I matured and grew, because this wasn't something that was in my mind when I was 11 years old, you know, but I realized that once I started to play guitar and started to grow and learn, and it was all a process, you know, that I realized that I wanted to do good things with music, and so I would write about subjects, for example, orphans of wealth, poverty. I would write about tapestry, about the environment. I would write a love song, "And I Love You So." I would write a song about, you know, leaving, kind of like the country style, like, you know, castles in the air. So I would write about things that mattered to me. Homelessness, I wrote a song called "Homeless Brother," an album called "Homeless Brother," actually, with Joel Dorn. So I began to accumulate more and more things very slowly over the years, you know. But everything was good, you know. There were good things. It wasn't, oh, I made an album of stupid songs trying to have a hit, you know, or I did a dumb thing, you know, whatever. So easy to get sucked into that. For some reason, I don't know what it was, my parents, my mother and father, but I had a sense of dignity. I had a sense of myself, who I wanted to be, what I wanted to be. And I knew that I only wanted the best, and I wanted to do some good for people. So it really, really makes me happy when I see people saying, you know, Vincent or Crossroads or you know, or American Pie or "And I Love You So," or any of these Empty Chairs, whatever, that these songs mean something to people. It makes my life worthwhile, you know, because and sometimes I think, well, I didn't do enough, you know, I could have done more, but no, I couldn't have, because I only did what I really could do, you know, and a lot of times I don't like to do anything, you know. I figured if I'm going along and I'm making a lot of money and my bills are paid, if I don't want to go on the road, I don't want going, you know.
And I think that's what every artist could hope for, is to have songs that touch people and that really connect with them and help them, which not everyone has, especially if you're chasing after the latest trend. But, I mean, American Pie it's one of the biggest songs of all time and most well known. But, I mean, at the time, I'm sure a lot of people didn't think, like record executives didn't think it was going to reach number one because it was very long. And most songs on the radio that were at number one were maybe 3 or 4 minutes long.
Well, also the nature of the song, the way it sounds, the way I sounded, the way the concept of it, the lyrics, everything else were just completely, no one had ever written a song like that before. There's never been a song like that before, and never has been since, because it comes from the mind of Minolta. So yes, it's my mind, you know. I'm the one that comes up with this stuff, and I just lucked out at being able to make this great record with Ed Freeman. And the right record company came along and put money behind it and launched it, and it all took off. But the probability of that is probably in the millions, if not higher, that it would not happen. So talk about beating the odds. I really did, and you know, everybody has a secret mind where they have beliefs and they have suspicions and they have superstitions, and they have things they don't do and things they do, and I don't know, all kinds of stuff. People have a whole catalog of things that are their own, their own. Nobody is like them. And they all think that somehow they're being maybe watched over, or in some cases they feel maybe they have, I have this bad luck. They get into that zone where they are down on themselves. I never had that, but I know that it's not uncommon to think that, you're someone is looking after you, and somebody up there loves me, this kind of thing. We all think that a lot. So in my case, it was sort of reinforced by so many happenstance things that were really blind-ass luck, but by the same token, was it luck, because was it not perhaps the thing that I was putting into the universe and putting out, that on this record that reached people, because certainly I've done things that haven't reached people. So, you have these lucky to have these moments. And in my case, I do it all. I write the songs, I arrange the songs, I sing the songs, I'm responsible for every single detail of all these albums that I've made and all these performances. And that's how I like it, But, then all of a sudden you wake up one day and you're 78 years old, and say, whoa, wait a minute. That went by fast. And then you have people telling you that what you did helped them in their lives. And then you say to yourself, well, I did the right thing.
And you've written so many songs, because, you do it yourself, and I didn't know that you arrange things, too. Is there any particular song that you've done that you thought was really good or meant a lot to you that, didn't get the reception from the public, maybe just because they didn't hear it?
I always think the public probably is right. The only chance that you have of saying that is that maybe, the song didn't have the right moment, the right record company attention or whatever, but I don't doubt the public. I believe that things will find their way out, even if, the record company doesn't even, know it. But it's interesting. You'll probably, read about my disastrous divorce 8 years ago, and one of the things my ex-wife said, that I was so controlling. And really, look at, I just told you, I control every single thing I do with regard to these songs and these records and everything, and but I'm really not controlling when it comes to people. I just really do what you want to do. You figure out what you want. If you have a problem, you come to me, and it's the same way with my musicians. There are guys out there, who will have band meetings, and they will insist that you didn't play the right note on this word, which is exactly like the record. No kidding. Me, I'm free form. I tell the guy when he joins up with me and he's playing with me, I said, I'll tell you what I don't like, okay? You just do whatever you feel and follow my instructions as best you can. If something I really hate, I'll tell you. But otherwise, swing,
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, my time is up with you, but it's been great getting to talk with you.
You're very nice, and very nice things you said. And I think I can sense that you really do like the Christmas stuff, and I'm very happy about that.
Yes, it's truly just a timeless Christmas album, and I'm sure we're going to see that going forward.